And we're back. So we need our judges, we need our riders, we've got Cuddle, we need 2 front gate men, please. We have a big program to get through here today. Competitor 501 will go into camp. She's in there now. Emma Knight riding Fossil Downs Concat. 502 will be James Moorhead on Circle Bar Congo. 503 Vicky Hiscock on Mewburn Bamalam. 504 David Reader will ride Coolum Recon. 505 Gavin Ware on Pepto-Puss. 506 Erica Hanrahan on Jewelette. 507 Laurie Beard will ride Acre of Pep. 508 Rick Hopkins on Tiptoe and Cat. 509 Rowan Marks on Turner Marks Rewind, and 510 Brent Flanagan on Luxor Ruby. We are watching the Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Draft. This is the completion of the second round here this afternoon at Juandah Plains. Thank you to our judges, Mr. Graham Finlayson and Mr. Nathan Mauler. The winner of the Power Energy and Power Contracting Open Draft will take home the Gold Ride Tough Buckle and $50,000 in prize money. Made by Harles have donated a beautiful saddle pad to the winner of the Open Draft. The Perpetual Bronze Trophy has been handmade by the talented Jay Hall. In each round, the Open, the highest cutout winner will receive $1,000. We currently have 4 competitors on a 23.5, and I have been told that we will require those four competitors if we don't see a 24 today. This afternoon, we will need those 4 competitors to run off at the conclusion of this second round. The aggregate cutout winner over the 3 rounds will win $5,000 and the Tom Strawn Memorial Quart Pot Bronze. So just so that we know, Troy Palmer riding Totem, Tony O'Neill on Mully, Stuart Wallace on Catnap, and Tommy Williamson riding See Me Metallic. Just to be on standby once we get through to competitor 552 this afternoon. If there is no 24, we will run that off. Score through there for Emma Knight of a 21, put together with her 20.5 from the first round, gives her a total of 41.5. 502 in camp, James Moorhead riding Circle Bar Congo. He'll be building on an 83 from the previous round. Vicky Hiscock, you'll be next into camp riding Mewburn Bamalam as competitor 503. 504 on standby, David Reader. 505, Gavin Ware. 506, Erica Hanrahan, and 507, Laurie Beard. A very big thank you to the Power Energy and Power Contracting and Farming for their continued support of the Juandah Plains Camp Draft. Make sure to see Sonny or Levi for all your power, energy, contracting and farming needs. We can see over there in the trade stall area that the trade stalls are starting to set up, so please make your way over there when you have a bit of time and have a look at the wonderful things on offer over there. So today is a big program with us completing the round 2 of the Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Draft. We have 552 competitors to complete today, and then we will go on with competitor 301 in the ADG Contracting Maiden Draft this afternoon until completion. So James goes out with a 22, 56 and 4 for an 82. Together with the 83 from the previous round, gives him a two-round total of 165. Vicky Hiscock in camp acknowledges her judge, competitor 503, riding Mewburn Bamalam, and she's building on a 91 from the first round. 504 next into camp is David Reader, riding Coolum Recon. 505, Gavin Ware on Pepto Puss. 506, Erica Hanrahan on Juliet. 507, Laurie Beard riding Acre of Pep. And 508, Rick Hopkins on Tiptoe and Cat. It's a camp score of 22 only there for Vicky. Together with her 91 gives her a two-round score of 113. 504 in camp, we have David Reader riding Coolum Recon, building on an 89 from the first round. 505 on standby, Gavin Ware. 506, Erica Hanrahan. 507, Laurie Beard. 508, Rick Hopkins. 509, Rowan Marks. Outside for David Reader, riding Coolum Recon, building on that 89 from the first round. 505, Gavin Ware has moved into camp, riding Pepto Puss. 506 on standby, Erica Hanrahan. Score through there for David of a 22, 61.5 and a 4 for an 87.5. Together with 89 from the first round, gives him a total of 176.5. 505, Gavin Ware is in camp, riding Pepto Puss, and he'll be building on a 74.5 from the first round. 506, Erica Hanrahan riding Juliet, will be on standby at the gate. 507, Laurie Beard. 508, Rick Hopkins. And 509, Rowan Marks. Acknowledging her judge, we have competitor 506, Erica Hanrahan, riding Juliet. She'll be building on a 22.5 from the previous round. 507, you'll be next in, Laurie Beard, riding Acre of Pep. 508, Rick Hopkins on Tiptoe and Cat. 509, Rowan Marks will ride Turner Marks Rewind. 510, Brent Flanagan on Luxor Ruby. 511 will be Luke McEwen riding Longmire. 512, Troy Palmer on Binia Convoy. 513, Jack Mann on Cat Kelly. 514, Matt Holtz on More Than Destiny. 515, Matthew Moffat on One Time Divine. 516 will be Abby Bright riding Conrad. Score through there for Erica Hanrahan of a 21, 55.5 and a 3 for a total of 79.5. Put together with the 22.5 from the previous round, gives her a 2-round total of 102. Laurie Beard in camp, riding Acre of Pep, competitor 507 in the draw, building on an 82 from the previous round. 508 on standby, Rick Hopkins. 509, Rowan Marks. 510, Brent Flanagan. 511, Luke McEwen. Score through there for Laurie Beard of a 21.5 only. Put together with the 82 from the first round gives him a total of 103.5. Rick Hopkins is in camp, competitor 508, riding Tiptoe and Cat. He will build on a score of 84 from the previous round. 509 next into camp is Rowan Marks, riding Turner Marks Rewind. 510, Brent Flanagan on Luxor Ruby. 511, Luke McEwen riding Longmire. 512, Troy Palmer on Binia Convoy. 513, Jack Mann on Cat Kelly. And 514, Matt Holtz on More Than Destiny. Just a reminder for all competitors, anyone who has not handed in their competitor profiles and has a high double scores in the open and high scores in the maiden, or has an 89.5 or above in the novice shootout from round 1, can you please bring those competitor profiles to Lauren at the office? They are really important for those finals, so if you could please do that for us and bring those to Lauren, we really would appreciate it. Rick Hopkins out in the arena, competitor 508, riding Tiptoe and Cat. Goes away with a score of 15.5, together with the 84 from the first round, I should say, gives him a total of 99.5. 509, We Watch in Camp, Rowan Marks, riding Turner Marks Rowine, building on a 77 from the first round. 510, Brent Flanagan, riding Luxor Ruby on standby. 511, Luke McEwen. 512, Troy Palmer. And 513, Jack Mann. Score for Rowan Marks, 22, 62.5 and a 4 for an 88.5. Together with his 77 from the first round, gives him a total of 165.5. In camp now we have competitor 510, Brent Flanagan, riding Luxor Ruby, building on an 88 from the first round. On standby, you'll be next into camp, Luke McEwen, riding Longmire. 512 on standby, Troy Palmer. 513, Jack Mann. 514, Matt Holtz. 515, Matthew Moffat. 516, Abby Bright. 517, Peter Knutson. 518, Michael Reid. 519, Robert Chamberlain. And 520 will be Jodie Harding. We have 552 competitors to complete rounds for today. And then we'll be going on straight away to the ADG contracting maiden draft. So maiden competitors, be warned that there will be no drag in the between. Score there for Luke McEwen of a 22 only, together with the 20.5 from the first round, gives him a total of 42.5. 512 is in camp, Troy Palmer, riding Binia Convoy. He will be building on a 22 from the previous round. 513 will be Jack Mann, riding Kat Kelly. 514, Matt Holtz on More Than Destiny. 515, Matthew Moffat on One Time Divine. 516, Abby Bright riding Conrad. 517, Peter Knutson riding Yavin Champagne Romance. 518, Michael Reid on All Stars Famous Acres. 519, Robert Chamberlain riding Ash Cat Repack. 520, Jodie Harding will ride Rose. 521 will be Bill Carey on Gidget. And 522, Ben McNaughton will ride Malungara's Phoebe. Don't forget to join us at the bar tonight for the SYNGAP 1 auction. Those 3 items up for sale, a 2-day VIP insiders experience with Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott for 4 people. There will also be a Colin Passmore world-renowned artist signed and framed Blue Garden print on archival paper. There's only 50 of those worldwide. And a 2022 signed Penrith Panthers Premier squad jersey. Score there for Troy Palmer was a 15. Together with his 22 gives him a 2-round score of 37. Jack Mann in camp is competitor 513, riding Kat Kelly, building on a 21.5 from the previous round. 5.14 Matt Holtz, 5.15 Matt Moffat, 5.16 Abby Bright and 5.17 Peter Knutson. Score there for Jack Mann of a 21.5 only, together with the 21.5 from the first round, gives him a 2-round score of 43. 514 in camp, looking over his cattle is Matt Holtz, riding More Than Destiny, building on an 82.5 in the previous round. 5.15, you'll be next in, Matt Moffat on One Time Divine, 5.16 Abby Bright and 5.17 Peter Knutson. Tonight at the bar there will also be the Calcutta on the Maiden for Maiden. 80% of the prize money, 80% will be prize money and 20% will go to the Juandah Meals on Wheels, one of our wonderful charities that we support here this weekend. The Cobb Contracting and Western Wide Earth Moving Maiden for Maiden is being run in conjunction with the Maiden Draft. We will conclude that maiden draft this afternoon. Score through there for Matt Holtz of a 22 only. Put together with his 82.5 from the previous round gives him a total for the 2 rounds of 104.5. 5.15 in camp is Matthew Moffat, riding One Time Divine. He brings forward an 86.5 from the first round. 516, you'll be on standby next in, Abby Bright, riding Conrad. 5.17, Peter Knutson on Yavin Champagne Romance. 5.18, Michael Reid on All Stars Famous Acres. 5.19, Robert Chamberlain on Ashcat Repack. 5.20, Jodie Harding on Rose. 5.21, Bill Carey on Gidget. 5.22, Ben McNaughton riding Malunga's Phoebe. 5.23, Cameron Lee on Bar None Comanche. 5.24, Tom Deary on Yavin Metallica. And 5.25 will be Brad Williamson riding Glimmer. It's a 16.5 only. Together with his 86.5 gives Matthew Moffat on One Time Divine a 2-round aggregate of 103. Abby Bright, we watch on camp at 5.16 riding Conrad, and she'll be bringing forward an 85.5 from the previous round. 5.17, you'll be next in, Peter Knutson riding Yavin Champagne Romance. Peter's been doing a wonderful job announcing as part of our team this week, so thank you, Pete. 5.18, Michael Reid on All Stars Famous Acres on standby. 5.19, Robert Chamberlain. 5.20, Jodie Harding. Score there for Abby Bright, 22, 63.5 and a 4 for an 89.5. Together with her 85.5 from the first round, gives her a total of 175. 5:17 in camp, we have Peter Knutson riding Yavin Champagne Romance, building on an 89 from the first round. 5:18 Michael Reid, 5:19 Robert Chamberlain, 5:20 Jodie Harding, 5:21 Bill Carey and 5:22 Ben McNaughton. This is a great reason to smile, Pete. It's 22, 66 and 4 for a 92. Together with the 89 from the first round gives you a total of 181. 518 is in camp. Michael Reid riding All Stars Famous Acres. He'll be bringing forward a 20.5 from the first round. 5:19 Rob Chamberlain riding Ashcat Repack. 5:20 Jodie Harding on Rose. 5:21 Bill Carey on Gidget. 5:22 Ben McNaughton riding Malunga's Phoebe. 5:23 Cameron Lee will ride Bar None Comanche. Score through there for Michael Reid of a 20.5, a 60.5 and a 4 for an 85, together with his 20.5 from the previous round, gives him a total of 105.5. We now have competitor 5:19 Rob Chamberlain on Ashcat Repack, bringing forward a 15 from the first round. 5:20 Jodie Harding riding Rose. 5:21 Bill Carey. 5:22 Ben McNaughton and 5:23 Cameron Lee. Score through there for Robert Chamberlain of a 20.5 only, together with his 15 from the first round, gives him a 2-round total of 35.5. 520 in camp, we have Jodie Harding riding Rose, building on an 80 from the first round. 521 Bill Carey riding Gidget. 522 Ben McNaughton on Malungra's Phoebe. 523 Cameron Lee on Bar None Comanche. 524 Tom Deary on Yaven Metallica. 525 Brad Williamson riding Glimmer, and 526 Mick Southern on Seligman's Comet. 527 Scott Edwards will ride Cook Family Midnight's Gift. 528 Dean Rogers on Martini. 529 Ben Hall on Tamaroo Jackson, and 530 will be Susan Cutler riding Cutler's on Parole. So I was just awaiting confirmation, but the 92 that we have just seen with Peter Knutson going round on Yaven Champagne Romance is indeed this round leader. Gives us a new leader for this round 2 of the Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Draft. You are watching the final 50-odd competitors of round 2. Our judges, Mr. Graham Finlayson and Mr. Nathan Mauler. Each round of the Open, the highest cutout winner will receive $1,000, and we currently have 3 riders on 23.5, so we will need those riders on standby. Troy Palmer on Totem, Tony O'Neill on Mully, Stuart Wallace on Catnap, and Tommy Williamson on See Me Metallic. We'll need you on standby should we not see a 24 before the end. So we have 552 competitors to run this afternoon, and we are currently at 520. Jodie Harding, score there coming through. In camp we have 521 Bill Carey riding Gidget, 522 Ben McNaughton on Malungra's Phoebe, 523 Cameron Lee riding Bar None Comanche. Score through there for Jodie is a 22 only, with her 80 from the first round gives her a total of 102. We are watching Bill Carey riding Gidget, competitor 521, and he will be building on an 89 from the first round. 522 moving into camp Ben McNaughton, 523 Cameron Lee, and 524 Tom Deary. In camp now, we are watching 521 Bill Carey riding Gidget. He'll be building on an 89 from the first round. I have a score there for Bill Carey riding Gidget of a 22.5, 63.5 and a 4 for an 89. Together with his 89 from the first round gives him a total of 179. My apologies, Bill Carey. I'll give you that score again. 22.5, 63.5 and a 4 for a 90. Together with his 89 gives him a total of 179. That's unfortunately a no score there for Ben and leaves him with his score of 21.5 brought forward from the first round. 5:23 in camp, we have Cameron Lee riding Bar None Comanche. He'll be bringing forward a 22.5 from the previous round. On standby at the gate, 5:24 Tom Deary on Yaven Metallica, 5:25 Brad Williamson on Glimmer, 5:26 Mick Southern on Seligman's Comet. 5:27 Scott Edwards on Cook Family Midnight's Gift. 5:28 Dean Rogers on Martini. 5:29 Ben Hall will ride Tamaroo Jackson. 5:30 Susan Cutler on Cutler's on Parole. 5:31 Barry Johnson on Rafa. 5:32 Joy Southern on No More Chances, and 5:33 Lachlan Thompson on Hoodie. Score through there for Cameron Lee of a 22 only, together with the 22.5 from the first round. Gives him a two-round score of 44.5. Tom Deary in camp, competitor 524. Riding Yaven Metallica, unfortunately no score in the first round. We all know that that prize money's there though for this second round, so 5:25 will be Brad Williamson. 5:26 Mick Southern, 5:27 Scott Edwards, 5:28 Dean Rogers, 5:29 Ben Hall. Score there of 15.5 only, leaving with him with a two-round total of 15.5. 5:25 in camp, Brad Williamson riding Glimmer, building on an 84 from the previous round. 5:26 will be Mick Southern riding Seligman's Comet. 5:27 Scott Edwards, 5:28 Dean Rogers, and 5:29 Ben Hall. Just have that change of cattle as we have done at 25 for the past 4 days. You've just tuned in, you're watching the Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Draft here at Willinga at Juandah Plains, Camp Draft 2025. We are currently watching the last 30 odd competitors in round 2 of that open camp draft. We will see this afternoon, as soon as this is completed, we will move on to the ADG contracting maiden draft. We send a great big shout out to our two judges for this power contracting and farming and power energy open camp draft, Mr. Graham Finlayson and Mr. Nathan Mauler. So just a reminder, competitors, that we have 4 competitors on 23.5. In this second round of the power contracting and farming and power energy open camp draft, we have $1,000 for the highest cutout winner. So if we get to the end at 522nd competitor and we have no 24, we will run off for that cutout, for that $1,000 in prize money. So we need on standby Troy Palmer on totem, Tony O'Neill on Mully, Stuart Wallace on Catnap and Tommy Williamson on See Me Metallic. Please, if you pass one of those competitors, please make sure they are well informed that there may well be a cut-off for the 23.5 for that cutout prize. In camp now, we have competitor 525, Brad Williamson riding Glimmer. On standby next in will be 526, Mick Southern, 527, Scott Edwards, 528, Dean Rogers, 529, Ben Hall, 530, Susan Cutler, 531, Barry Johnson, 532, Joyce Southern, 533, Lachlan Thompson. Score for Brad Williamson of a camp score of 15 only, together with 84 from the first round, gives him a total of 99. 526 in camp, Mick Southern riding Seligman's Comet. He's bringing forward a 16.5 from the first round. 527 Scott Edwards will ride Cook Family Midnight's Gift. 528 Dean Rogers on Martini. 529 Ben Hall on Tamaroo Jackson. 530 Susan Cutler on Cutler's on Parole. 531 Barry Johnson riding Rafa. Score through there for Mick Southern of a 16 point. Sorry. Unfortunately, a no score for Mick Southern, which leaves him with a 16.5. 527 will move into camp. Scott Edwards riding Cook Family Midnight's Gift. He brings forward a 72. from the previous round. 5:28, Dean Rogers riding Martini. 5:29, Ben Hall will ride Tamaroo Jackson. 5:30, Susan Cutler on Cutler's on Parole. 5:31, Barry Johnson riding Rafa. 5:32, Joyce Southern on No More Chances. 5:33, Lachlan Thompson on Hoodie. 5:34, Jackson Ball on Eclair. 5:35, Kylie Graham on Con Moon. 5:36, Steve Comiskey on One Night Stand. 5:37, Rani Edwards on PCD Reigning Medal. And 5:38, Andrew Storman on Rathcoole Bunyip. Score there for Scott Edwards of a 22 only, together with his 72 from the previous round, gives him a total of 94. Dean Rogers we watch in camp at 5:28, riding Martini, bringing forward an 89 from the first round. Ben Hall, you'll be next in camp, 5:29, riding Tamaroo Jackson. 5:30, Susan Cutler. 5:31, Barry Johnson. 5:32, Joy Southern. Nice round, Dean. 23, 63.5 and a 4 for a 90.5. Together with his 89 from the first round, gives him a total of 179.5. Ben Hall in camp, riding Tamaroo Jackson. Competitor 529 in the draw. Building on an 89.5 from the previous round. Susan Cutler, you'll be next into camp at 5:30, riding Cutler's on Parole. 5:31, Barry Johnson, riding Rafa. 5:32, Joy Southern on No More Chances. 5:33, Lachlan Thompson on Hoodie. 5:34, Jackson Ball on Eclair. 5:35, Kylie Graham on Con Moon. 5:36, Steve Comiskey, riding One Night Stand. $22, 64 and 4 for Ben Hall, riding Tamaroo Jackson. That's a 90, building on his 89.5 from the previous round. Gives him a total of 179.5. Susan Cutler on camp, competitor 530, riding Cutler's on Parole, and she's bringing forward a 20 from the first round. Barry Johnson, you'll be next into camp at 5:31, riding Rafa. 5:32, Joyce Southern on Standby. 5:33 Lockie Thompson, 5:34 Jackson Ball and 5:35 Kylie Graham. Score for Susan Colour of a 20, 32.5 and a 2 for a total of 54.5. Together with the 20 from the previous round gives her a 2-round total of 74.5. Barry Johnson we see in camp, competitor 531 riding Rafa, building on an 89.5 from the previous round. 5:32 will be next into camp, Joyce Southern riding No More Chances. 5:33 Lachlan Thompson on Hoodie. 5:34 Jackson Ball, 5:35 Kylie Graham and 5:36 Steve Comiskey. Score through there for Barry Johnson of a 22 only, together with his 89.5 from the first round, gives him a total of 111.5. Joyce Southern is in camp. Competitor 532 in the draw, riding No More Chances, bringing forward an 81 from the first round. 5:33 next into camp is Lachlan Thompson riding Hoodie. 5:34 Jackson Ball on Eclair, 5:35 Kylie Graham on Con Moon. 5:36 Steve Comiskey on One Night Stand. 5:37 Rani Edwards on PCD Reigning Medal. 5:38 Andrew Storman on Rathcoole Bunyip. 5:39 Mitchell Hoy riding SCH Smart Times. 5:40 Laura McNaughton on Brown Acres. 5:41 will be Bryony Puddicombe on Destiny of Her Own. And 5:42 Anna Lowry riding Willow View Rip. You are watching the Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Camp Draft. We are concluding the second round of this camp draft today on this beautiful day. We have 522 competitors in this second round. We will be going on to the ADG Contracting Maiden. We will remind competitors that we have that open, the highest cutout prize of $1,000 to run off at the end if we don't see a 24. So just to be sure that these competitors know, we need Troy Palmer on Totem, Tony O'Neill on Mully, Stuart Wallace on Catnap and Tommy Williamson on See Me Metallic on standby. Score there for Joyce Southern of a 17, 52.5 and a 3 for a 72.5. Together with her 81 from the first round, gives her a 2-round total of 153.5. We do have Lachlan Thompson in camp, competitor 533, riding Hoodie, bringing forward a 22 from the first round. Jackson Ball, you'll be next into camp at 5:34, riding Eclair. On standby, 5:35, Kylie Graham. 5:36, Steve Comiskey. 5:37, Rani Edwards. And 5:38, Andrew Stallman. $22 only their lock, together with your 22 from the first round, gives you a total of 44. 5:34, Jackson Ball riding Eclair. He brings forward a 16 from the previous round. 5:35, Kylie Graham riding Conmoon. 5:36, Steve Comiskey on One Night Stand. And 5:37, Rani Edwards will ride PCD Reigning Medal. Score there for Jackson Ball of a camp score 22 only, together with his 16, gives him a total of 38 for the 2 rounds. Kylie Graham in camp looking over her cattle at competitor 5:35, riding Conmoon. She brings forward a 17 from the previous round. Steve Comiskey on standby. You'll be next into camp at 5:36, riding One Night Stand. 5:37, Rani Edwards. 5:38, Andrew Stallman. 5:39, Mitchell Hoy. 5:40, Laura McNaughton. And 5:41, Bryony Puddicombe. Outside for Kylie Graham riding Conmoon, building on a 17 from the first round. Steve Comiskey moves into camp riding One Night Stand at 5:36. 5:37 on standby, Rani Edwards. And 5:38, Andrew Stallman. That's a 16.5 only there, Kylie, together with the 17, gives you a 2-round score of 33.5. Steve Comiskey in camp riding One Night Stand at 5:36, building on a 91 from the first round. 5:37 will be Rani Edwards on PCD Reigning Medal. 5:38, Andrew Stallman. 5:39, Mitchell Hoy. And 5:40, Laura McNaughton. Score there for Steve Comiskey of a 22.5, 61 and 4 for a total of 87.5, together with his 91. Gives him a 2-round score of 178.5. Rani Edwards we watch on camp, riding PCD reigning medal at 537. She's building on a 21 from the first round. 538 you'll be next in, Andrew Storman. 539 on standby, Mitchell Hoy. 540 Laura McNaughton. 541 Bryony Puddicombe. 542 Anna Lowry. 543 Lloyd Davidson. 544 Michael Hiscock. $18 only there, Rani, together with your 21 from the previous round, gives you a total 2-round score of 39. Andrew Storman in camp, riding Rathcoole Bunyip, competitor 538 in the draw, building on a 22 from the first round. Mitchell Hoy, you'll be next in at 539, riding SCH Smart Times. 540 will be Laura McNaughton. 541 Bryony Puddicombe, and 542 will be Anna Lowry. Score for Andrew Storman, riding Rathcoole Bunyip, of a 15.5, 54.5 and a 3, for a total of 73, together with the 22 from the previous round. Gives him a 2-round score of 95. 539 in camp, Mitchell Hoy, riding SCH Smart Times, building on a 73.5 from the first round. 540 will be Laura McNaughton on Brown Acres. 541 Bryony Puddicombe on Destiny of Her Own. 542 Anna Lowry on Willow View Rip. 543 Lloyd Davison riding Hall's Con Loose. 544 Michael Hiscock on Mewburn Solution. 545 Sam Campbell on Con Eye. 546 Terry Hall on Hazelwood Composer. 547 will be Wyatt Young riding Binia Milan. 548 Clayton Hodge on He's a Stylish Cat. 549 Tony O'Neill on Long Time. As we near the end of the second round of this Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Camp Draft, we urge our maiden riders to gather for the ADG Contracting Maiden. We will have that maiden at the completion of this open draft. We'll start with competitor 301 and work through to the completion of that ADG Contracting Maiden. We of course have that Calcutta for the Maiden for Maiden at the bar tonight. Score there for Mitchell Hoy of a 22.5, 63 and 4 for an 89.5, together with his 73.5 from the previous round, gives Mitchell a score of 163. On camp now, we are watching Laura McNaughton, competitor 540, riding Brown Acres. She's building on a 90.5 from the first round. 541, you'll be next in, Bryony Puddicombe on Destiny of Her Own. 5:42 on standby Anna Lowry, 5:43 Lloyd Davidson, and 5:44 will be Michael Hiscock. Score there for Laura McNaughton of a 22, 63 and 4 for an 89, together with her 90.5 from the previous round, gives Laura a 2-round score of 179.5. 5:41 in camp is Bryony Puttycombe, riding Destiny of Her Own, and she's building on an 89.5. 5:42 on standby, you'll be next in Anna Lowry, riding Willowview Rip. 5:43 Lloyd Davidson and Hall's Conloose. 5:44 Michael Hiscock on Mewburn Solution. 5:45 Sam Campbell on Con Eye. 5:46 Terry Hall riding Hazelwood Composer. We are currently watching competitor 5:42 Anna Lowry riding Willowview Rip, building on a 22 from the first round. Next into camp will be 5:43 Lloyd Davison, 5:44 Michael Hiscock, 5:45 Sam Campbell and 5:46 Terry Hall. We have a score through there for you, Bryony, of a 22, 63.5 and in camp now we have 5:43 Lloyd Davison riding Hall's Conloose. He brings forward a 20.5 from the first round. 5:44 Michael Hiscock will ride Mewburn Solution. 5:45 Sam Campbell on Con Eye. 5:46 Terry Hall on Hazelwood Composer. 5:47 Wyatt Young on Binia Milan. 5:48 Clayton Hodge on He's a Stylish Cat. We only have about 10 more competitors in this Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Camp Draft this afternoon to conclude round 2. I'll just go backwards there and I'll read out Bryony Puttycombe's score of a 22, 63.5 and a 4 for a total of 89.5. Together with her 89.5 from the previous round gives her a total of 179. Score for Anna Lowry at 5:42 was a 14 only. together with a 22, gives her a total of 36. We're just waiting on that score to come through for competitor 543, Lloyd Davison, riding Hall's Conloose. But in camp, we have competitor 544, Michael Hiscock, riding Mewburn Solution. He brings forward an 84. Score there for Lloyd Davison of a 21 only, together with his 20.5 from the first round, gives him a 41.5. So we currently watch 544, Michael Hiscock, riding Mewburn Solution. He's building on an 84 from the first round. Moving into camp, 545, Sam Campbell on Coneye. 546, Terry Hall on Hazelwood Composer. 547, White Young on Binia Milan. 548, Clayton Hotch on He's a Stylish Cat. 549, Tony O'Neill on Long Time. 550, Harry Steiger on Jessie J. 551, Alana Chamberlain on Smart Spin and Acres. And 552 will be our final competitor in this round 2, Brian Duggan, riding Perfectly Legal. Score there for Michael Hiscock, riding Mewburn Solution, of a 21.5, 63.5 and a 4 for an 89. Together with his 84, gives him a total of 173. We currently have on camp 545, Sam Campbell, riding Coneye. He'll be building on a 22 from the first round. 546 will be Terry Hall on standby at the gate, riding Hazelwood Composer. 547, White Young. 548, Clayton Hotch. And 549, Tony O'Neill. So once again, competitors, we do have 4 competitors on 23.5 cutout score. Troy Palmer on Totem, Tony O'Neill on Mully, Stuart Wallace on Catnap, and Tommy Williamson on See Me Metallic. We will need those competitors if we don't see a 24. We will need those competitors at the gate to run off for that amazing $1,000. That has been the prize for the highest cutout in each of the rounds. There is an aggregate cutout winner over the 3 rounds who will win $5,000 and the Tom Strawn Memorial Quart Pot Bronze. So some big prizes there for those cutouts. So if we could just have those riders on standby. Score there for Sam Campbell of a camp score of 22 only, together with his 22 brought forward from the first round, gives him a total of 44. Terry Hall we watch in camp, competitor 546, riding Hazelwood Composer, and he's building on an 83.5 from the previous round. 547, White Young, riding Binia Milan, is on standby at the gate. 548, Clayton Hotch on He's a Stylish Cat. 549, Tony O'Neill on Long Time. 550, Harry Steger on Jessie J. 551 will be Alana Chamberlain on Smart Spin and Acres. Aces. And 552 will be Brian Duggan on Perfectly Lethal. So maiden competitors, we will need to be ready to go. There will be no arena drag between this final of the second round of the Open and the ADG contracting maiden. So maiden riders, be on standby. We will complete this second round of the Open. We will do that cutout runoff if need be, and then we will go straight on to the ADG contracting maiden. Score there for Terry Hall was a 14.61.5 and a 4 for a 79.5. Together with his 83.5 gives him a score of 163. Wyatt Young there, we've just watched, competitor 547 on Binia Milan. Goes out with a 22.5, together with his 22.5 from the first round, gives him a total of 45. We have now in camp competitor 548, Clayton Hodge on He's a Stylish Cat. He'll bring forward an 85 from the first round. 549 will be next in camp, Tony O'Neill on Long Time. 550, Harry Steger on Jessie J. 551, Alana Chamberlain on Smart Spin and Aces. And our final competitor in this round 2 will be Brian Duggan on Perfectly Lethal at 552. Score there for Clayton Hodge for 22 only. Together with his 85 from the first round gives him a total of 107. Tony O'Neill in camp at competitor 549, riding Long Time, building on an 85 from the first round. Harry Steger, you'll be next in at 550, riding Jessie J. 551, Alana Chamberlain on Smart Spin and Aces. And 552, Brian Duggan on Perfectly Lethal. Thank you to our judges today, Mr. Graham Finlayson and Mr. Nathan Mauler. The winner of the Power Energy and Power Contracting Open Draft will take home the Gold Ride Tough Buckle and $50,000 in prize money. Made by Harles have donated a beautiful saddle pad to the winner of the Open Draft, and there's that beautiful perpetual bronze trophy that's been handmade by Jay Hall. A very big thank you to Power Energy and Power Contracting and Farming, their continuous support of the Juandah Plains Camp Draft. Make sure you catch up with Sonny or Levi for all your power, energy, contracting and farming needs. Score there for Tony O'Neill, riding Long Time, of a 16, 61 and 4 for a total of 81, together with the 85 from her previous round, gives her a total two-round score of 166. Harry Steger in camp at 550, riding Jessie J, and he will build on an 87 from the first round. 551 on standby, Alana Chamberlain, and 552, Brian Duggan. ADG contracting maiden riders. From 301 onwards, we will see the completion of that ADG contracting maiden round 1 this afternoon. 301 will be our first competitor in that ADG contracting maiden draft. It's unfortunately no score there for Harry. Leaves him with an 87 from the first round. We have Alana Chamberlain moving into camp at 5:51. She unfortunately did not get a score in the first round, but she will be working towards that $37,000 of prize money in this round 2 of the Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Draft. Our final competitor will be 5:52 Brian Duggan, riding Perfectly Lethal. So we've just had a change of cattle at 5:50, as we have done for every 25 throughout the whole of the 4 days of drafting here at Willinga at Juandah Plains. Thank you to all of the riders out there bringing the cattle back. In camp we have 5:51. Alana Chamberlain riding Smart Spin and Aces, and she will be building on her. She'll be building to get a score. Brian Duggan will be our final competitor, 5:52, riding Perfectly Lethal. So we do need on standby, just in case, Troy Palmer riding Totem, Tony O'Neill on Mully, Stuart Wallace on Catnap, and Tommy Williamson on See Me Metallic. We need you at the side of camp now. You are all on a 23.5. We have 2 competitors left to run this afternoon. If we don't see a 24, we will be needing to run off for the $1,000. That is the prize money for the highest cutout winner in the second round of this Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Draft. Once we've seen that cut-off run off, we will go on with the ADG Contracting Maiden Draft. So maiden riders, 301 Ben Hall, 302 Jeff Thomas, 303 Rick Hopkins, 304 Jason Crawford, 305 Zane Haberman. Please be on standby. We have our final competitor, 552 Brian Duggan on camp, riding Perfectly Lethal, and he's building on a first round score of 85. Have a score there for Alana Chamberlain of a 12, 57 and 4 for a 73. That leaves her with a total two-round score of 73. Outside, we're watching 552 Brian Duggan riding Perfectly Lethal, and he's building on an 85 from his first round. We'll have a score through in a moment. 21, 65 and 61.5 and a 4 for a total of 86.5. Together with his 85 gives him a 171.5. So we will need those four competitors for a run-off for the $1,000 for the highest cutout. So we will need, and I have a drawer. Number 1 will be Troy Palmer riding Totem. Number 2, Tommy Williamson on See Me Metallic. 3 will be Stuart Wallace riding Catnap. And 4 will be Tony O'Neill riding Mully. So that's our four competitors to run off for the $1,000 prize money here in the Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Draft. Number 1, Troy Palmer riding Totem. Number 2, Tommy Williamson on See Me Metallic. 3, Stuart Wallace on Catnap. And 4, Tony O'Neill on Mully. Thank you to the wonderful backyard boys and girls that are keeping our cattle coming, the wonderful Willinga Pastoral Co cattle that we see all week this week. Epic effort to get this beautiful line of cattle ready for us to draft. Remember, maiden riders, that once this cutout is done, we will go straight on to the ADG maiden draft, completing that first round this afternoon. And then watching that Calcutta, being there at the bar tonight for the Calcutta for the Cobb Contracting and Western Wide Earth Moving Maiden for Maiden. Calcutta held at the bar tonight. Love to see everybody there on a Friday night. There'll also be that Sin Gap 1 auction tonight where there's wonderful things on auction. So in camp we have Troy Palmer riding Totem. This is the cutout runoff for the second round of the open draft. These riders are riding for $1,000 in prize money. Score there for Troy Palmer was a 22. We are now watching Tommy Williamson riding See Me Metallic. That's a 23 there for Tommy. 23 for See Me Metallic, Tommy Williamson. In camp now, competitor 3, Stuart Wallace riding Catnap. We're watching Stuart Wallace riding Catnap in the camp, riding for the $1,000 prize money. That's a 24 there for Stuart Wallace riding Catnap. Our final competitor is Tony O'Neill in camp riding Mully. We're watching Tony O'Neill riding Mully, riding for the cutout prize of $1,000 here in the Power Contracting and Farming and Power Energy Open Camp Draft. She calls it quits. Congratulations goes to Stuart Wallace riding Catnap with a 24. He wins $1,000, and of course the aggregate cutout winner over the 3 rounds will win $5,000 in the Tom Strawn Memorial Quart Pot bronze. So I'm going to hand you over to Leslie Deneen. We're going to start the ADG Contracting Maiden Draft. Our judges, Mr. Ben Weller and Mr. Ben McNaughton. Thanks, Leslie.